let's get straight to the point. In order to connect your PS5 DualSense controller with the iPad or iPhone to play games, it's actually pretty easy. The first thing you need to do is to make sure that your iPad or iPhone is running the latest software, which is 14.5 at least. And if you don't know how to update your device, all you need to do is go into Settings, General, Software Update, and update it to at least 14.5. After that, you just need to put your DualSense controller into pairing mode. All you need to do is to press and hold the PS icon and the share button at the top left until you see a flashing blue light, just like that. And on your iPad or iPhone, go into Bluetooth, and you'll see that DualSense wireless controller is now available to be connected. Tap onto it, and it's now connected. Once it's connected, the light will change its color on your controller. One cool thing about the latest iOS or iPadOS is the ability to change or customize the buttons on your DualSense controller. All you need to do is to go into Settings, General, go down to Game Controller, and you'll see your controller there. There's an option at the bottom which says Identify Controller. This will activate the haptic engine or the taptic engine to give you the haptic feedback on the controller. It will vibrate for a little bit. If you tap onto this option, you can't really feel it on the video, but this is how you can identify which controller you are using. And you can change the name of the controller, you can turn on the haptic feedback, but the first thing I notice is nothing happens if you turn on the haptic feedback right now. I'm pretty sure it has to be the developer that allows the haptic feedback to happen on the controller within their game. So hopefully they will start doing that, because a lot of games, let's say Call of Duty, there's no haptic feedback whatsoever. And capture screenshots, video clips, I believe you use the share button on your controller to do that. And if you tap on the customizations, you have the ability to customize each button to something else. So basically you can map the button to something else. And you can have an app customization at the bottom, because you can customize the buttons according to the game that you are playing. So that's how you can connect the DualSense PS5 controller to iPad or iPhone. Let me show you some gameplay very quickly. It's going to be a little bit harder for me to play games on the iPad with the controller while I'm recording, because I'm looking at the camera screen. But I will open up, let's say, Call of Duty. And it's really hard to play a game with the camera recording. It's really hard. It's really hard. Like looking at the camera screen to play a game. It's like, in order to pair the PS5 DualSense controller with your Apple TV, you have to make sure that you have the latest tvOS 14.5. So after you have updated your Apple TV to tvOS 14.5, go to Remotes and Devices inside Settings, and you'll go to Bluetooth. Inside Bluetooth, you will have an instruction item to show you how to pair with a specific gaming controller. For the PS5 DualSense controller that I have here, In order to put it in pairing mode, you have to press the PS button or the PS icon in the middle, and also the share button at the top left. Press and hold them until you see flashing blue light, like that. And you'll see that on my Apple TV, I have the DualSense wireless controller as a discovered device. I'll just need to click onto it with my remote, and now it is connected. Within this Bluetooth settings page, you have options to customize your DualSense controller. You just need to go into the controller, and the first item is identify the controller. When you press that, you'll feel like a haptic feedback on your controller. And I know you can't really feel it on the video, but this is how you can identify which controller is which one. And of course, you have the option to disconnect and then pair it, and you have customize. This page allows you to customize a specific button to a certain thing, and this is a general kind of customization. You can also basically customize it according to each app. So for example, Asphalt 8, you can customize it to something else, and it can be different from the general page. For some reason, I don't see some of the apps that are compatible with the controller as well showing up here. So I guess the developer has to put in the customization option in the settings page. Now you can actually use the controller as a TV remote, which is kind of cool. You can do it like this, and the O button is the back, the X is the select. So this is the back button, back, back, just like that. So if I go into this game right here, I can just play. Doesn't really matter, I'll just do it like this. Start racing. I'll quickly show you how it works. So I'm holding the shoulder button, the R2 button as the throttle. It is so hard to play with a camera in front of me, but I'll try. And get this button too. I don't know what that does. It's like kind of dragging me slowly. Okay, and of course you have this. You can, of course, use the joystick. I don't even know where to look. I'm looking at the camera screen and also the TV screen. Oh, that's first. I got first place. One thing I kind of wish they did was to include a home button to go back to the home page of the Apple TV, because there's no home button. You'll have to use the controller, the Apple TV control, to go back to the home page, just like that. It also supports some older games as well. Not older games, but some retro games. So for example, Sonic, you can play it with the controller as well. And I wouldn't recommend you to use the joystick because it's really hard to do it. It's easier to use it with the D-pad, because if you use the joystick, you see I can't even go down. Like Knuckle is not going down, but if I use the D-pad, it works. Yeah, it's pretty fun actually. But one thing to keep in mind is same thing with the iPad or the iPhone. If you pair with the DualSense controller, the haptic feedback, it's not doing anything at this moment besides the identify controller feature. So I don't know if it's up to the developer to add in that haptic feedback within the game, or if it's a model of the iPad or an iPhone problem, because I heard that only the new iPads can do the haptic feedback on the DualSense controller. So I have no idea, but I wish they can update the game or update the iPad OS or iPhone OS and iOS in general to make the haptic feedback available, because now you cannot feel anything at all. It has no haptic feedback whatsoever in any game. And the trigger, the resistance on the trigger, there's nothing. So even if you pair it with certain game, they have no feedback whatsoever. So you don't feel any resistance on the famous DualSense controller shoulder buttons. So that's another thing to keep in mind. Maybe they'll support it in the future, or maybe you'll have to submit or to subscribe to Apple Arcade in order to go get those features, but I don't have Apple Arcade. All right, so this is how you can connect the PS5 DualSense controller with your iPad or iPhone to play games. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.